After the game is coming to you from here at Assembly Hall today. Indiana knocks off Merrimack and joined by the great Jordan Hulls. Jordan, looked like you were on Merrimack's team for a while today. Man, they were throwing up some shots, man. I saw a stat. Indiana had more blocks with 7 than Merrimack had made 2-point baskets with 5. But a big win for Indiana today here on a very slumbery Sunday afternoon, a Sunday noon start. Do you remember having any Sunday noon games?
The ones that I remember I'm pretty sure it was might have been my freshman year as one of those non-conference games, and we ended up losing it in my first year, I think, and that was not great. But yeah, those are always, as a player and as a as a staff, I'm sure you want to make sure that the guys are all prepared for that. Whatever they want to call it, a trap game or whatever, going into into a game that's non-conference and a team that you're supposed to beat. Making sure the guys are prepared and focused on that game and not letting it slip. Um, like you said, they hit a lot of shots early on and they had that zone, so it's a different look than usually a man-to-man. Or I know we played Syracuse, so we saw a little bit of zone already, but I'm glad that we were able to figure it out and get the big win.
Yeah, a lot of big numbers today for Indiana. A lot of guys. We'll start with Jordan Geronimo. How about a double-double for Jordan Geronimo off the bench? That dude he's playing with a purpose. He was a big topic of discussion in the post game with, he was one of the players that came in. His rebounding, how he's really using his leaping ability. He's got a big vertical. He's using that vertical. A lot of guys don't use it to their advantage, and he is every time you see these hands going up, and it's Jordan Geronimo's hands. I'm like, damn. But to see him having that effect, because I think it also he knows the effect that it has on him, and he's seeing the benefits of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously super athletic, and it's awesome to see the transformation he's had from a year ago to now. Just his skill set, his body. He feels like he looks like he's more comfortable with what he's supposed to be doing in his role, and he's playing it really well. So to have 13 points and 13 rebounds, I couldn't see how many minutes he played, but it's always huge coming off the bench to have somebody who can come in and get 13 rebounds. I don't care who you're playing, 13 rebounds is 13 rebounds. So he's going to be huge for us coming down the stretch. I know we have Trace and Race down there who are both physical specimens as well. Race is a little bit smaller, obviously, but he's just as athletic. And having 3 guys like that can really change the, scouting reports of other teams and change the momentum of getting offensive rebounds, kickouts for open threes, whatever it may be against, going into Big Ten play.
He did that in 20 minutes of play, Jordan. 5 of 8 from the field today, 3 of 5 at the free throw line. But the big numbers, 13 and 13 in that 30. And Coach Woodson keeps talking about, because there was questions, why isn't Lander in the game or this and that? I'm telling you, you're earning minutes now. It's gotten to that point, and this is how you earn minutes. He plays 20 minutes, and he gets a double-double. That's not going to happen very often, but Mike Woodson keeps saying, you better take advantage of your minutes when you get them, and Jordan Geronimo is certainly doing that.
For sure, and whether it's Geronimo or Leal, who's gotten more and more playing time bit by bit, not a whole lot, but you got to come in, make the right plays, and turnovers has been a huge problem for us from the couple of games that I've gotten to watch and see. So we can learn the value of possessions and making sure. I know we want to play fast. I look like once we get stops and get out and run, that's when we're at our best. Trace running the court like a deer and getting lobs and dunks and stuff like that. It's really going to open things up for us. But in the half court, with Geronimo down there in the post when he's coming off the bench or getting into our 2 main guys who start in the post, like we did today, hitting the high post in the zone, kind of going at him inside early, not just chucking up threes from the outside right away. I think that was good for us.
You talk about turnovers. Indiana had 17 today, another high number, higher than you want it to be, especially at a team like this. But 6 of those came from Michael Durr and Jordan Geronimo off the bench. So you may give a little slack there. because it probably got a little sloppy in the end. Looking at the starters,
Mhm.
Xavier Johnson had 3. Miller Kopp didn't have any turnovers. Trace Jackson Davis only with 1 turnover. Race Thompson only with 1 turnover. Parker Stewart had 2 turnovers in the 18 minutes he saw, and Rob Finney won with in the 16. But so from the starters, they didn't really turn the ball over too poorly.
Mhm.
A lot of this came from the other guys, but that still that turnover number remains high.
Yeah, and as you know, in the Big Ten, each possession is going to matter. There's no easy games. Everybody's going to come out and try and obviously compete and win. So you got to take care of the basketball. When I was watching the Wisconsin game, it was a travel here, travel there, a miscommunication here on a pass. Little things that not always necessarily lead to an easy bucket, but they still, you lose that possession instead of getting a shot up and a chance for our big guys going to get an offensive rebound. So. I can't remember what the number that they aim for every game. Certain teams have their goals of
12.
whether it's 12 or 10 or something like that. So that's
They have to
typically pretty
run. If
good.
they
But
get more than 12, they have to run.
I
If they
like that
get
rule. That's good.
and if they get under 12, the coaches have to run.
That's pretty good incentive there,
See, it's exactly.
and to win basketball games too. But
Can
that's
you
also good.
imagine? I mean, it was different era, but can you imagine being back in it and seeing Bob Knight run for 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 turnovers in a game? I
No,
mean, for the team having the less turnovers in the game, that would have been
no chance.
funny.
No, no chance. You're
There's no
supposed to take care
chance.
of the ball. Yeah, you're supposed to take care of the
Yeah,
ball. Why would I run for you? Yeah, something like that.
exactly. Oh, that would be hilarious. But another big day down low inside the guys, but Race Thompson and Trace Jackson Davis, 30 points between those two guys today. Race Thompson was 6 of 6 from the field. 6 of 6. He had
Hmm.
14 points, 7 boards. He only played 20 minutes. The dude is getting better every game.
Yeah.
Trace Jackson Davis, he had his 16 and 9. His big number, 6 of 6 at the free throw line. That is a place where Trace Jackson Davis has had a lot of troubles. As a
Hmm.
team, Indiana shot, they let it get away there toward the end. They were shooting well over 70%, but ended
Yeah,
up being
almost
at
10.
68.
Hmm.
Missed 10 free throws on the day. That's still too damn many free throws to miss in a game.
Yeah. Again, this is a good practice for us, I guess, in game to, that's something that's going to win you a basketball game, especially in the Big Ten. So being able to focus on our free throws. But going back to Race, I just love his game and what he brings to the table. So much energy, and I feel like he's taken on more of a leadership role. Well, just from again, I don't get to watch every game, but from what I can see and the stats and stuff like that, I've always liked his enthusiasm, just the way he plays. He's a little bit undersized, but he seems to get the job done, and I like the big step he's taken this year.
From a guard's perspective, obviously, that where you have been kind of the same position that um, Parker Stewart is playing, it doesn't. He was one of the only players that did not score today. Only 2 players did not score today. One of them was Christian Lander, who only got some minutes there at the end with 17. And Parker Stewart only played 18 minutes, but he didn't score. He was 0 for 3. It doesn't seem like he works as hard for shots sometimes as I think he needs to, is because he is as good a shooter as he is. Does he need to work harder for shots? Do they need to run different plays for him? He's someone you want to be involved in the offense. I mean, this guy can shoot it lights out.
Mhm. I thought in the Wisconsin game in the first half, we moved the ball really well. We got driving kicks, we got open threes. We weren't hesitating on threes. I thought Kopp in the Wisconsin game, he shot fake and tried to get to his pull up and then didn't have a shot where I thought he could have maybe fired a couple threes in the Wisconsin game. But I was glad to see him hit some shots today from the outside. But Stewart's the same thing, whether it's getting shot ready before the ball gets to you. But you also got to think about how the team was playing us today. Watching that zone, you could throw it to the high post almost every possession, and then we're going to get a high low or a kick on the opposite corner. So whether or not Parker was on that side or not, that's he can't always control that. So um, just trying to be aggressive when you can and know that you're out there to shoot the basketball, and that's what um, even you have to shoot the open shot. If you don't shoot the open shot, then you're playing in the defense's hands, and you're hurting us, right? Because you're one of the best shooters on the team, and we need you to shoot it. So But again, I think today might have been more just like a scheme thing with how the defense was, and um, yeah, for him not to hit any shots isn't too concerning or anything like that. So, but yeah, we definitely need him and the outside shooting to keep going. And we kind of lost it in the Wisconsin game in the second half
Boy,
with that.
yeah, that was pretty rough. We'll take a quick reset. Listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, bringing you Indiana basketball's after the game today with Jordan Hulls, live from Germany. What city in Germany are you?
Ludwigsburg.
Ludwigsburg. Brought to you by our good friends at Southern Stone Restaurant, who don't have any German food, but they have some of the most excellent American food in the world at Patterson and Rogers in Bloomington, as Jordan will find out when he gets back. How are things going in Germany? Last year you played on the best team that you'd been on in your career, post-pro career over there. How's this season going?
Season's going pretty well. The difference between this year and last year is that this year we're playing internationally. We're playing in the Champions League, which is one of the better international leagues. So that's been fun, just traveling a little bit. We just got back from Tenerife, Spain, a couple days ago, and won a big game there to advance to the top 16. So
I
that was
didn't want to
good.
tell you this. Did I text this to you that I had, I
Yeah,
watch these air disaster show all the time, and
yeah.
I just saw one that was on Tenerife, which is in Spain. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you told me you were going to Tenerife. And I'm like, I'm not going to
Yeah,
tell him. I was
it's
like, man, that's got to be a rough place to fly into or something.
yeah. Somebody else kind of held their breath on that as well. Once and was just made sure that I made it safely there at first, because it's you like fly in right over the water, and it's just it's a little chaotic, but no problems for us. It
Was
was all
that
good.
was that your mom?
Yeah, she actually it's a good thing that she hadn't seen that show, because
Oh,
she
I'm
definitely would.
God. Yes, it's a good thing she did not see that particular show. That would not have
Yeah.
been fun at all. How's the season going as far as the wins losses?
It's going well in the Champions League. We've lost one game, and like I said, we already advanced to the next round. So it's like group stages. So we have one more game in this first stage. But again, it doesn't matter if we win or lose this next game. In the German league, we lost last night, so we had a quick turnaround, and we lost on the road last night, unfortunately. But we didn't shoot the ball too hot, so you're not going to win too many games, not hit any threes.
So wait a minute. So
So
you're playing in two different leagues at the same time
yeah,
on the
so
same
the,
team?
same team. So there's the domestic league that you just play all the German teams, and then if you're in an
Oh,
international league, then you play, you play against
so
other
you're playing
countries
two
or
different
teams.
seasons at once, in essence.
It's, in essence, you could say that. Yeah. So it's
That's
good. I mean, it's
crazy.
more games, less practice.
Yeah,
As long as you win, as long as you
more
win. So
pay,
it's cool.
more pay, right?
Yeah, more pay, bonus money if you win, that kind of stuff. So
That's
it's good.
crazy. Playing in two. Now, I can't remember. Is your all's coach Ted Lasso?
No, that is a great show, and I'm trying to get my wife to just jump on that, but
She's not
I
on
don't
it
think.
yet. What's wrong with her?
No, I watched it on the road in like one binge already, so
Oh
I don't.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
can't believe she's
no,
not on that.
no, I'll have to just slide it in, and just try and get her to watch it one of these times.
How are the kids? They're getting older. I know.
Yeah, they're
The youngest one is what, 2 or just
one.
1?
So the Margaret just turned 1, and Leo's 2.5, and Jack's 4.5. But they're great. They're growing up fast. Margaret's walking around everywhere now, hitting her head on everything, tackling and stuff with the boys. She's gonna be the toughest one because she's just watching her two older brothers. But the two oldest ones are in school, full German school, so they're learning the language. My oldest Jack is coming home and just speaking German to us, and is like, "Wait, you guys aren't smart enough for me, so I have to dumb it down for you guys." So it's pretty cool to see how much they're growing up and learning, and just it's good to have them back in school and around other kids.
That sounds like good to see everything's going good and the season's going well. As we'll
Mhm.
be able to check back in with you as the season goes along. Getting back to Indiana basketball, of course, you haven't been able to be around since the summer you were here, I guess. But a lot of changes have gone on here with the new staff. You've got Dave Fife here, Mike Woodson here. It's just a change in the entire environment. I know you haven't been able to spend much of any time around them, but uh, the all the changes that have been made have been going very positively. As a former player, how do you see that? What's your take on that?
Yeah, just from the little bit that I've seen and just kind of being in there over the summer, getting some workouts in with Anthony and just being able to shoot in there when I needed to get my own workout and stuff. It's been really cool to see just like the transformation and the energy and the guys seem to really going out there and playing hard and buying into what he's preaching. And Coach Woodson knows what it takes you to get to that next level, but he also understands what Indiana basketball is all about. So I think it's a cool mixture, and he's able to mesh that along with the great staff that he was able to put together. So I'm excited for what this season is going to look like. And like you said, we've started off pretty well. So that's always good to see as a former player and now a fan.
How much fun is it for you to watch as a fan, though, and with them getting better? It was been slim pickings the last 4 years, but now things seem to be on the uptick, on the rise. Fan excitement is back as well. As a former player, what does that mean to you?
It's the best. It's there's nothing better than walking into Assembly Hall or Simon. Sorry. Now, with it being a packed house with the students in there and all the fans cheering you on, that's one of the coolest things in the world. So to have that back, and when you're winning basketball games, obviously that makes it a lot better. And the way that we're playing just looks like we have a lot more energy. There's still a lot of room to improve, but as long as you're playing hard, whether you win or lose, I think fans are going to appreciate that. That's something that we learned early on when we weren't winning any games, but everybody knew that we were going to play as hard as we could and that we were going to do everything that we could to win the basketball game. And I think that goes a long way. And the faster that guys understand that, the better off we're going to be. And we'll win more games that way because we have the talent. We have, an All American on our team and things like that. And I think we have the right pieces to do well.
The Big Ten looking very, very tough this year. Maybe tougher than a lot of us thought it was going to be. Purdue right now, every day you think that they're the number one team, then they lose to Rutgers. I just saw something up here. North Carolina State is up on Purdue right now, 25-19, which that's nothing. But uh,
Yeah.
but but yeah, losing to Rutgers first of all shows you that I don't care who you are, it doesn't matter in the Big
Mm-hmm.
Ten. It's night in, night out. But Indiana seems to be in position, hopefully, to compete a little bit better than they have recently. But it's a tough. This league is still a very difficult league, and may be more balanced than it has been in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's good at that means a lot of teams are probably going to get in the tournament. So as long as you're battling out and playing well and doing the things that you can control, it's always a good thing. And as a player, from my perspective, as a player, I always love being in one of the best conferences in the country because you wanted to play the best. If you want to be the best, you got to play against the best. And it's a physical league. And I know it's been almost 10 years since I've been out. It was very physical when I played, and it seems to be still that way. And but it's always good when the Big Ten's doing well. And even if it is Purdue, who's one of the best teams, and Coach Painter has got it going on up there, but it's always good to be in the mix there. You want to be one of the best teams in the Big Ten, and you're going to be set.
Yeah, looking over some stats as far as the Big Ten goes. Scoring offense right now, Indiana number 5. Scoring defense number 4. So you're in the top 5 on both ledgers there. So that's pretty good. Free throw percentage, that's something where they're lacking. They're 12th in the Big Ten. That's not good and not acceptable. Scoring margin does not really matter as much. They're 4th, not as important, but that scoring offense and scoring defense being in the top 5 right now for both sides. That's where you want to be. That's shows some balance.
No doubt, yeah. And I think having some offensive spark is always good. But I think what we saw today, we kind of picked up full court, and I think that's another way for us to just get some easy buckets and just to change the tempo of the game if we're not shooting the ball so well, or we're getting a little stagnant. If we can pick up the pressure and try and create offense through our defense, I think that's another thing that we can continue doing, just to mix it up against teams. And today was kind of nice to see picking up the full court pressure there. And yeah, whenever you're in the top five, like you said, in both categories, that's always a good thing. It's not, you don't want to be heavy on one side and light on the other.
Yeah, I'm going through these stats, Jordan, and it's pretty amazing. Field goal percentage, Indiana. This is in the Big Ten. Indiana's number 3. Field goal percentage defense, Indiana is number 1 in the Big Ten right now. 3-point field goal defense, they're number 4. 3-point shooting percentage, they're number 4. Rebounding offense, they're number 4. Rebounding defense, they're number 7. That's one of the outliers there they need to improve on. But rebounding margin, they're number 4. Block shots, they're number 2. So they're just assists, number 6. They can get that number up. Steals, number 9. You'd like to see that number up. Better defense. Turnover margin, I bet you that one. Yeah, number 10 in the league. And assist to turnover ratio. These are more stats that you're probably interested in, or make more sense to you. And in the assist to turnover ratio, Jordan, number 14. Unfortunately, there are only 14 teams in the Big Ten. So those two numbers, turnover margin, assist to turnover ratio, they're 10th and 14th in the league. A lot of great numbers before that, but these are numbers that can wreck all that other stuff that I just talked
Hmm.
about.
Yeah. Just think about, just cut those numbers in half, and you're getting that many more possessions, and you're taking things away from the other side as well. So if it's, I mean, it's easier said than done, maybe, but it's pretty simple, right? Just take care of the basketball. You're going to get more shots, more chances to score points, and less chances for the defense. So I'm an old school guy. I like to think that the fundamentals and taking care of the basketball are obviously very important. It's not just you can play fast and still be under control. So the faster that we get that, I love to play fast. I love throwing the ball ahead and trying to get over the top looks. If you turn over once, okay, but we can't just continue making the same mistakes with even like little travels here and there. I know it doesn't go the other way. Like a fast break right away, they get to take the ball out of bounds. But those are things that we can control. We can be under control. We don't need to rush our feet. Those are just little fundamental things that give us an extra 2 or 3 possessions every game in the Big Ten. That's what you need.
Since your playing career, how has your vision on things, your thoughts on whether it's offense, defense, how much have you learned in the 9 years since you graduated college and have moved on to the pros? Because there's a lot more to be gained there.
Yeah, each year. I mean, I'm 31 now, and like you said, it's my ninth season, which is hard to believe. But I've always thought of myself. I love the game and I love learning the game, and I thought I was a pretty smart player. But each year, I'm continually learning, whether it's schemes, whether it's different reads I need to make in the pick and roll, or just even little things on how to be able to get a certain angle on a pass. Little things like that have really helped me, especially with my size. I have to be able to be creative and find different ways to not turn the ball over. I have to be very efficient. I have to shoot the ball well. Take care of the ball, and then I have to, with my lack of size, I have to try and make up for it with different things on defense, whether it's charges or communicating earlier, or just knowing what spots I need to be in. So little tiny details go a long way. That gets lost in the mix. Details aren't always the most exciting thing, but I've always been very detail oriented because I had to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. I can't play with all these athletic guys if I don't know what I'm doing, or if I can't get a step ahead just with my mind. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is just learning each year different ways to get the most out of my body and the most out of my mind, of how to exceed and succeed at this level. Because there's lots of good basketball players all over the world, man. It's not just in the United States. There's kids over here, 17, 18 years old, are playing against 30-year-olds who are competing at a high level. So it's pretty cool to be part of that.
Yeah, we have some highlights. Unfortunately, our producer can't be with us today. He's doing something else, so I'll have to have these edit it in later for everyone else that gets to watch it. But I got to see him, so pretty cool. But yeah, you've gotten that shot off a little quicker than you used to. You used to get your shot off even quick, but it's a little faster now. It seems like, man, that trigger is like bam, it's gone.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. In college, it was easy if I was the third or fourth option, just having to stand there and catch it and shoot with Cody and Vic getting the ball or Yogi penetrating, driving, and kicking. So, not that I couldn't do it in college, I just never really had to. Not all the time. I showed flashes, but as long as we won, I didn't really care. But now I try and I'm more of the one, which is my more natural position over here. I've played that probably yeah, the majority of my career. I played the two 1 year over here, more off the ball, but um, yeah, get my shot off, doing what I do best, and taking care of the ball.
Things that Indiana needs to continue to get better at. Today they beat Merrimack pretty handily, and they did that by doing what they normally have done, playing defense and hitting shots. 52% from the field. They held Merrimack to 30% shooting. Indiana ended up shooting 31% from 3-point, which is not bad. They were up higher. And then I think at the end of the game, a lot of these numbers got drugged down a little bit. They were
the
5 of
rebounds,
16.
the rebounds is crazy. 54 rebounds with
Oh,
16
I
rebounds.
know.
That's
I saw
insane.
that during the game. I happened to look down. I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? That is one of the biggest rebounding margins that I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got 54 to 16, but um,
yeah.
that's nuts. Indiana had 18 offensive rebounds. They had six more offensive rebounds than Merrimack had defensive rebounds. Hell, they had more offensive rebounds than they had
Then
total
total.
rebounds.
Yeah,
I've never seen that in my life.
no, that's wild.
Um, Offensive rebounds have been a problem for India. Well, they were so much bigger than this team.
Yeah, that's true.
They went with a 4 guard lineup, and they were using their speed early on, and it seemed like Indiana had to adjust. Jordan, and that's Merrimack didn't have a choice. All they had was speed. It's like you talk about learning different ways to get your shot off. Well, they had to find a way to deal with Indiana's length because they did not have 6'8" guys to run in there,
Mm-mm.
and so they were trying to use their speed, and it worked for a minute, but it didn't last long. But teams trying different things like the zone and the speed, but it's good for Indiana to see those different type of looks before they go to the Big Ten. Not that they're going to see crazy things like that, but the NCAA tournament, that's when you see that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
during the season, you want to see as much as you can, I guess.
Yeah, I always enjoyed, playing against different schemes in college just because you never know, like you said, when it's going to happen, whether it's in the Big Ten or the tournament. But also just gives you different looks and makes you kind of in game, makes you focus a little bit differently, not just go through the motions and be like, okay, it's another man to man. Let's just get our automatics, boom, boom, boom. Kind of makes you think the game a little bit more. And I think that goes a long way. It may not seem like much, but later on, I think the guys will okay, maybe we got this look when we got this high low look with Trey stealing underneath when we hit the pinch post or whatever. Those are things that could also happen in man to man. But you get those little movements, and I feel comfortable with actually making that pass now because we did it earlier in the season. Just little things like that. I think it's good to see things like that early on.
Plus, Merrimack had a guy named Mikey and a guy named Ziggy. Man, all day long I was wanting to hear 3-pointer by Ziggy, assist to Mikey. We did hear a lot of Ziggy today. Ziggy was busy.
Ziggy.
Was a busy man. What did Ziggy end up with? He put up a lot of shots. I remember. I think. Yeah,
4 for 13.
Yeah, Ziggy put up 13 shots. Of
3 for 8
course,
from three. Yeah.
he was hoisting them up. Not a lot of them landing, but didn't get to hear Ziggy enough. But it was fun. Hey, speaking of fun, Notre Dame is a team Indiana plays next. The last Crossroads Classic game that's going to be played. You played in that many times, obviously. Indiana taking on a Notre Dame team that just beat Kentucky.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I saw a stat. John Calipari is like 1-6 all time in true road games because they don't play true road games. They don't go. They
Really?
don't. play true road games. They're always either playing in a special, or they don't. So they don't go to Indiana anymore. That's a true road game. They don't do
Hmm.
those games. Louisville is one of the only yearly games they have. They have a couple more they'll throw in there, but they don't have true road games. But and this, but Indiana taking on a team. So Notre Dame is 4-4. They started out struggling a little bit, but obviously picking up the pace. If you can be a Kentucky like that played Duke pretty well. But that's Indiana's next. Something Indiana has to worry about next. Playing a lot better talent.
Yeah, again, I think having a tough schedule or playing a good team early on is only going to help you going forward into the Big Ten, into the tournament. These are big games. It gets the guys excited to play. A new challenge. You got to come in locked in, ready to go. Especially playing against another Indiana or in-state school. You want to make your presence known. We lost to Butler once, but we also beat Notre Dame once. I remember. So it's a cool tournament. Unfortunately, it's coming to an end, but I always enjoyed playing in it.
Indiana's the winningest program in that tournament, of course, as it comes to an end, and of course, you want to see them go out with a win on that. But it will also allow Indiana to participate in other things that they have
Mm-hmm.
not gotten to do, which is better for the program, gives it a little bit more profile in that regard. But I have not watched Notre Dame play this year, so I've seen Indiana play. I think it'll be an interesting game. It always is. And knowing that it's the last time, Notre Dame's going to come wanting to win that game. They're coming off of a win over Kentucky. They're fired up, and to beat a Kentucky and Indiana in back-to-back games, well, that to start off the way they have, that would pretty much jumpstart their season, I would imagine.
Yeah, those would be two signature wins for them. I think for us going into that, knowing that they just had a big win over a good Kentucky team, we need to come out right from the gates, making sure we're securing the basketball, getting good possessions early, and making their first 4 minutes until that first TV timeout pretty difficult for them. No easy looks, no nothing. Making our presence known and bringing the energy from the bench as well.
Looking forward to that. What players, and I know Trace Jackson Davis obviously has been the guys that stand out, but Race Thompson, talk about how this guy has improved. Who does he remind you of that you played with, that someone who has really been a lunch pail guy, blue collar, and man, now he is just every game in, game out. He's
Mm-hmm.
either has a double double or he's close to having a double double. Tonight he goes 6 of 6. 2 of 5 at the free throw line's a little not great, but 6 of 6 from the field. That's battling, man.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I mean, it's hard to compare him to someone on it. We didn't really have someone of the. I guess I would say he just because he was going to bring it every night. You knew with Will, you also knew he's going to maybe take a few questionable shots, but you knew he's also going to play as hard as he could to get it back on the other end if he did that. But similarities just in that what you're going to get from them, and I think with Race, it's huge with this team. With younger guys or returning guys, and transfers, the whole bit. It's good for him to be a guy who is returning, who understands a little bit more about the Big Ten than maybe some others, and for him to come out and lead by example is going to be huge for us. And like I said earlier, I just love his energy. I love what he brings on offense and defense, just rebounding, just activity. And I think Geronimo as well off the bench can really be a game changer for us.
Xavier Johnson, transferred in from Pitt, is becoming more and more consistent. Obviously, the Syracuse game was a bad one for him, but he comes back today with 9 points, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers in 22 minutes. That's not a bad stat line. Didn't get much from Parker Stewart. He was 0 for 3 in his 18 minutes. Miller Kopp had a really good day. He was 3 of 4, 8 points, 2 of 2 from behind the 3-point line. Man, you get that production, that's going to be great game in, game out. Then you got the the Twin Towers there with Trace and Race down low. They've got a good core lineup going, and especially with if you can get Geronimo coming in off the bench. How about Michael Durr today? 5 points. He played 12 minutes. He took one shot. He hit it. He 3 of 6 at the free throw line. He did a great job getting to the free throw line. Just needs to hit a couple more. But I really liked how he came in and hit a nice elbow jumper. That's someone that if they can get production from, any kind of consistent production from, because there's gonna be plenty of times where you've got to rest Trace or Race, and you need another big guy out there.
For sure. It's kind of like, in the Wisconsin game, he had a big face-up jump shot as well that he hit. It kind of caught me. Again, that was my first game I got to watch. So to see him get the face-up and knock it down in the Wisconsin game was nice. And any production we can get offensively from him would be a positive. And with his size, just being down low, clogging up the lane, being active with his hands, keeping his verticality and getting rebounds. Those will be beneficial. It's kind of like when we needed to steal Cody some minutes when we were playing. He was a machine. He could have played all the time, but there comes a point, especially in the Big Ten, where you need that rest. It's very physical. So if we can steal some minutes for Trace and Race with him and Geronimo, that'll be. That's four big guys, athletic guys who can disrupt things defensively for us. That would be a huge help.
Well, and then Logan Duncombe, he played only 4 minutes, but he scored 4 points, hit the only shot that he took. He hit both of the free throws that he took, got a rebound. That's another future. There was a time I looked down, and I'm like, here's Indiana's future. On the floor was Tamar Bates, Logan Duncombe, Jordan Geronimo, Christian Lander, and Anthony Leal. They were all on the floor at one time, and I'm like, that looks like a future Indiana squad right there. And you've got a lot going right there. You've got the big man in Duncombe. You've got Tamar Bates, who's kind of an everything. Geronimo, which is becoming more of an all-around player. Lander continues to work on his point guard skills. And Anthony Leal has really impressed me. Anytime he comes in, he seems like he takes advantage of his minutes. He got to play 17 minutes today.
Yeah. I thought he completely changed the energy the last game as well. With the pass, breakaway dunk, for a pass. That wasn't the last game. That was another game. Anyway, when he comes in, he's coming in and completely changing the energy. Like you said, he's taking advantage of his opportunity. He's not trying to force too much. He's trying to just make the right play, whether it's creating an angle to get a post entry pass or just creating space for other guys to get their shot off. And he needs to just be ready to shoot the ball when he's open. And just bringing on the defensive end. If he just continues to be active on defense and then spreading the floor on offense and making the right plays, he can be a key guy for us coming off the bench as well. And I think Bates is another X factor guy who can, go off and get you a lot of points. Once he just, as long as he stay composed and, stays active. I feel like he has really good length, so he can be active on defense as well. But offensively, coming off the bench, he can be that Will Sheehy spark for the team as well.
Well, man, we're looking forward to getting you back over here. I can't wait, but that won't be until next June, I know. But hopefully we'll be talking to you soon as the season progresses, and we can hopefully the schedule lays out like today where we can get to you because what time is it? It's 3:00. What is it? 9:00 over there?
Yeah, it's 9:15 now. Yep.
Yeah. So coming to us from Germany, Jordan is kind enough to come to us from Germany as he is playing professional ball over there. But we've got to hope the schedule works out so we can have an early game again so we can get you on. But, man, we really appreciate you, brother. But when you do come back over, we got to get you out to Southern Stone Restaurant so we can get you fed because that's where I'm headed next for a nice, good stuffing meal after this. I'll take your you know what? I'm going to take you're not here, so you always don't get the spoils, but I'll take JC and Joni there instead for Christmas.
They'd appreciate that. Yeah, they'd appreciate that. No, I appreciate you having me on, and the timing worked out perfect. Got the kiddos in bed and then able to hop on, and I actually got to watch the game, so that was nice.
Well, brother, I appreciate it. When's your next game?
We play Wednesday. We got a lot of games in a short amount of time. We had some time off, but now it's crazy month of December. So just trying to stay rested and yeah, stay healthy.
Besides at Jordan Hulls one, Twitter, you can follow Jordan. Where can fans follow your current team or the games or anything like that? I know that I've seen the Twitter for your ball club. I follow them.
Yeah, yeah. The my basketball team is MHP Reason, Riesen. That's my basketball team, so they got a Twitter and Instagram. If you want to follow my international league, our games are on YouTube. Um,
Really?
yeah, they're on YouTube. So if you just type in basketball Champions League, uh, and then yeah, you can see like all sorts of games. There's people from all over the Big Ten who are in this league as well. But that's how you can actually watch those games. And their Twitter handle is the Basketball Champions League as well, I think. So yeah, that's pretty cool international stage. There's lots of good players, good teams. So that's another way to do that. And the German league is the Easy Credit BBL is the name of the league. So I try and tweet and retweet as much as I can for those who actually want to follow along. I don't know how many people do, but yeah, at Jordan Halls one is my Instagram and Twitter, where I usually repost all that kind of stuff as well.
Well, make sure you give him a follow so you can keep up with him, and me as well at Jim Coyle ISB. It has been a fun day as always, man. When we get to talk to you, I'm looking forward to doing it again soon. Indiana taking on Notre Dame next, and then the big season or the Big Ten season. There's a couple more non-con games, and then it becomes real. Then, baby, it's all Big Ten from there on out.
The real season starts. Yeah, that's the best time of the year. It's so much fun. I miss those days for sure.
Well, Jordan Halls, go to bed, get yourself some rest, brother. I appreciate you so much for taking time to join us here on After the Game, and looking forward to doing it again as soon as you can.
Will do, man. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You bet. Jordan Halls joining us here on Indiana Basketball After the Game, brought to you by Indiana Sports Beat. I'm Jim Coyle. Cannot thank Jordan Halls enough. Thanks a lot to you guys. Without you, we don't have a reason to be here. Big thanks to Southern Stone Restaurant on Patterson and Rogers in Bloomington. Make sure you get out there whenever you have a chance. That's where you can find Mike Woodson tomorrow night, 7:05 with Don Fisher. The Inside Indiana Basketball Show will be there. So until tomorrow morning, back on the radio again. It seems like it never stops. I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.